What's going on, everybody? This is Snoman. Welcome to another brand new snoCast. I'm joined today. Oh, I messed up. Hang on. We gotta do that again. I forgot to do the intro. Sorry. It's been a while. I'm out of.
Great show, man.
That's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next month. snoCast! Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Snoman. Welcome to another brand new snoCast, the second best thing to listen to right behind your grandpa telling a charming yet subtly racist tale of days gone by. I'm joined today by two very special guests. You like that one? That's by Queso Caliente. Thank you for that,
that was a good
intro.
one.
It's great. I'm joined today by two amazing special guests, Eyed and Razbuten. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. As someone who's been in that situation.
Oh, your grandpa telling a story?
Yeah. It's okay.
It's kind of endearing, right? Like,
I mean, I don't know if endearing's the right word.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'll tolerate this for now, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I don't like this, and I don't appreciate it, but
it's like a time capsule, right?
Yeah.
It's like a time capsule of racism, and that's okay.
But
right?
just like subtly racist, right? Like when they're just like, yeah, and, you know, Mexicans.
I loved your brain ticking over like, what can I say?
I was realizing what should I say and what can I say.
How deep can you go? Yeah.
Well, and then I was like, I dug a hole. I need to get out of this. This is not good. Anyway.
Which minority group will be least offended?
I was like, what can I hit? And this is
and
not
you
good.
determine Mexicans.
That's where I went, yep. But I'm joined today by two guests that are neither of which are Mexican.
Well, that's an assumption, but you know.
I assume. We've gone off rails, man.
That was fast. That was real fast.
Eyed Razbuten. Both of you have been on before.
Twice, man. I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say individually and when we did a Game Boys crossover.
Yeah.
So welcome back.
Thanks, man.
You both have been on even amounts, so I don't love either of you more than the other. But damn. Raz was on first, so
that's true.
Yeah. To be fair, you waited till I had a channel before you had me on.
You're right. That's right. Wow, that is so long ago. I don't even remember that. That's true. I wanted to have Mitch on, but you didn't have any videos yet. You guys remember Mitchy No Videos?
Yep, I was thinking about that.
What a simpler time.
Man. Some would say a better time.
Whoa.
I'm not one of those, Mitch. I'm not one of those people. I'm just saying some.
Okay, all right. I'll let that slide.
Not me.
Who would? Just curious, Raz. Who would say that?
People, man. Just people.
Well, now you do have videos.
Like,
both of you do.
Really important people.
So I'm going to give you the floor here. For those that may not know about my two guests today, tell us about your channel so we can check you out, / just what you do in general in life so we can find you.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, go.
Here's my pitch. Don't find me, man. Don't look for me.
Go ahead, Mitch. Why don't you start us off?
Okay. Well, yeah, I have a channel called Eyed where I do game analysis and game design stuff. Sometimes man, I cannot talk. This is not good.
Interesting.
Industry stuff. There we go. Oh. Industry stuff. And indie games. Yeah. And the channel's called Eyed, if you didn't pick that already.
Why is it called Eyed, Mitch?
Okay. Here's the law. Here is the official Eyed law. So back way before I had a channel or anything like that, I used to run a record label called Eyed Collective. And I named it that because I was, and I named it that because I was always on the road touring and I was always tired. So there you go. That's the
there you
law.
go.
Learn new shit every day, man.
Yeah, I didn't.
I actually knew that. So, but Snow learned new shit.
I didn't know. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Am I gonna get bleeps there?
Razbuten?
Hey. I'm Raz. I also make videos. I guess I kind of have videos in two veins. One of them is my show. I'll call it my show, called Shh, I've Never Played.
No, I thought you were making a pun. You're
My show. Oh, I'm not that funny, Snow.
See, and I just made
I'm not,
you do
and
another
I'm
one
also
where you
not
said
Mitch.
because you just got the joke. So there was like another one.
All right, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, people are gonna
this is
think
a
we're
good
like
time.
high in this one or something. So you're just like all over the place.
I just woke up, so
I didn't. Yeah, so it's pretty much a show where I play classic games that people typically consider to be great for the first time. Because I mean, everyone has missed a lot of games, but man, I've missed a lot of games. Even though I've played a bunch, I missed pretty much anything good on the SNES. So that's really what my show's based around, is SNES games.
Yeah.
But exploring some other things too. And then I also just do the odd game design video. I kind of just released a sequel. I don't want to say to my first video ever, but like my first memorable video to a lot of people, which was Mini Maps Are Stupid. I made a video talking about mini maps that suck, and that's why Snow had me on.
That's right. Yeah, that
Like,
was my
that's how
first
you got to know me.
experience of Raz. Yeah.
And now, to bring it full circle, like I just released what I consider the sequel to it, which is I Hate Fast Travel, where I talk about more problems with the games. But yeah,
it's a channel why you hate video games and why you didn't play the CDS.
Pretty much. I mean, like, I've learned through those two videos that I just don't like open world games, and I shouldn't play them. But the ideas behind them are so cool that I always want to see it. Like, I mean, No Man's Sky is a good example. I want that game so bad, but I know it's trash.
Yeah.
Or at least I know I will not have fun playing it.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not going to devalidate people's experiences, because if you've had fun playing it, great. But I know I will not enjoy it. I'll get bored after an hour and a half and be like, why did I spend $60 on this?
Tune in a year from now for Raz's third entry in the series. I feel iffy about random encounters.
I kind of.
But until then, yeah, check us all out.
Hey, speaking of random encounters, Snow, that was for you to jump into Pokemon.
Oh! Boy, we're really on a roll today, guys.
We're
you can
clicking
tell
on every cylinder.
Yep.
Hey, you're right though. Random encounters, that does fit very well. As you can tell by looking at this amazing thumbnail here with some really cute Pokemon and one very phallic Pokemon. We're talking about Pokemon today. Specifically newer stuff going on with Pokemon. We got a new game coming out this year. Pokemon Go. I think we'll start talking about Pokemon Go, but really just the reason this came about, well, one, I think Mitch is probably one of the biggest Pokemon fans in the world, would you say? In all of New Zealand, probably.
In all of New Zealand, definitely, but like that's not saying much. But yeah, pretty
but
big
two,
Pokemon fan.
Pokemon has had a crazy year this year, and we were just talking about it before we started that things are kind of crazy for Pokemon right now. Like there's a whole new wave of people getting into Pokemon thanks to their mobile release, their first mobile major release. But then we got a new game coming out at the end of the year that seems to be pretty all right, I guess. Would you say so? From what we've seen so far?
Man, I am excited.
Yeah.
Like...
So I'll preface this by saying I have not looked into much. I've seen the memes,
yeah,
which
the
granted makes up a lot. Like it makes up
That's
a
true.
lot of the news that's been released. But yeah, so you guys are gonna have to tell me about what looks good about it, what looks not good about it, and all that. But yeah, I mean, so before we jump to that game, like, have you guys played a lot of Pokemon Go?
No.
I have, like, not at all, pretty much. Like,
Because...
I've turned it on, like, once or twice, caught a Pidgey, and that's about it.
Okay,
I don't think I've ever moved with it.
For me, not playing much is hitting level 12. But
I still don't
like,
think that's a ton, though.
it's not.
Yeah.
The problem with it for me, it's not a Pokemon Go thing. It's data is really expensive in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like, I got to
that's a
drop
big
$20
issue.
to get a gigabyte.
Jeez.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Like,
I didn't
so
think
I
about
haven't
that.
I haven't gotten very into it because I don't find it fun. Like, whatever.
That's my thing too.
The idea of going out, seeing Pokemon is cool. Like, it got me to go on a few walks that I definitely wouldn't have gone on to like check out the app. And I dressed like a fucking idiot, put on a backpack, wore a hat backwards, and like
Did you really?
that was, dude, I'm not a fucking loser. It was like a certain catharsis in doing that.
Sure.
But beyond that, it just wasn't sustainable for me. Especially because like the first couple times I went out, I didn't find anything, and I'm not in a like big city, so there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's just nothing. You have to go so far. It doesn't make sense to walk places to get to Pokestops or gyms. Like where I live, like you pretty much have to drive to different places, and that's not fun. That kind of defeats the purpose. And like whatever, catching Pokemon in that game is not fun.
It's awful.
Well, there's a lot that's holding it back. Like, I definitely see the appeal, and like you were saying, there's a lot of nostalgia catharsis to it. The fact that it's only Gen 1, I think, makes a lot of people,
That's the
like,
reason it
oh,
blew
this
up.
is like I'm in the first Pokemon game, But what's holding it back is that it sucks. Right? Like,
Yeah.
The most fun
I-
I've had.
Go ahead.
Okay. So like the most fun I've had with it is getting a few friends together and then hitting the major spots around Auckland.
yeah.
Like there's a few key spots. There's a place called Mission Bay, which is like a beach right next to the city. Every night during like mad Pokemon Go hype, there'll be 100 to 150 people there because it's the spot to get Dratinis, Magikarp,
That's
Psyducks, all the rare stuff are just there. And there's like 4 Pokestops. They're always lured. And they're like, you can stand in the middle of all 4 of them. And there's 2 gyms there as well. So like, it's just
Yeah.
madness every night. So they were like, that was like
experience
my
is
good experience.
Yeah.
But then you would get the people that would just make dumb jokes while you're like trying to hang out with your friends and you're like, do I really want to be around these people? And then we'd just leave. So yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had an experience like that.
Right.
that was
Yeah. I
genuinely
didn't
cool.
play it enough to have that experience.
But yeah, I mean, so, and there's been controversy around it, right? Like, I mean, because certain systems have broken.
Yeah, the footsteps.
Yeah.
They just stopped working. So they got rid of them.
And I don't know if you guys have been following it a ton. Have people like asked to be opted out of it? Jeez, I'm struggling with that
Yes.
sentence. Why?
Okay, so like there's 2 groups. The understandably, you can opt out of this, and the why would you opt out of it? Like graveyards and memorial sites are like,
Okay.
can we please not be a Pokestop? Which is like, don't like, stay away from those. And the others are like small town cities that are like, Pokemon is the devil. We need our city wiped of Pokemon Go.
So it's like coffee shops are trying to opt in.
Oh yeah,
And
coffee shops want
graveyards
it.
are trying to opt out.
Yeah.
All the people at graveyards are like, no, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Is when you were saying like the small towns that hate Pokemon, I just picture that's like the next sequel to Dirty Dancing, where like the town hates Pokemon Go, and so they outlaw Pokemon Go, and there's the old preacher, and then they like go play Pokemon Go at night without their parents knowing.
And there's a scene where one guy's like just playing it alone in a big abandoned like building.
I'm a moron. That's Footloose, not Dirty Dancing. What am I talking about?
I haven't seen
Sorry,
either,
man.
so
I was
just sort of
I was
roll on
hoping
with it.
Dirty Dancing. Really, that's
But you guys know. what I'm talking about anyway.
yeah. I did. Nobody puts Pikachu in the corner, man.
Okay, so Pokemon Go, and it definitely like just from what I've seen, there's a lot of it sucks. Like it doesn't work, and people are like, there's the nostalgia part that drew people in, and I think people tolerated a bad game because of the concept. but now like that part is kind of worn off at this point to where it doesn't have the newness, the you know what I'm saying, like the
Nostalgia can only last
butterflies
so
in the
long.
stomach first date stuff. Like that's over, you know. The honeymoon period. That's what I was talking about.
Also,
that's over. So now it's just you're just left with a crappy game.
Yep. Also, what sucks is there are region-locked Pokemon, but there's no trading system. So it's literally impossible to get all 150 unless you hack your game. So it's
I
like,
just feel like they could have made a good game.
oh, easily.
Like,
Ingress is a good game. Like, what happened?
I haven't played it. Is that what this company made before?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's based 100%, like all the Pokestops, all the Pokemon spawn locations, all the gyms are based completely off Ingress. They just mapped the data to Pokemon Go. And it's, Ingress is like really good. And this is so bare bones compared to it. It's insane.
What I thought was so interesting was before it was released, everyone was like, this looks like trash. This is going to be total garbage from like stuff that they were showing before it was released. And then it came out and it blew up. And I don't know if any of us expected that.
I definitely
based
didn't
on what we
expect
saw
it.
before. Say what?
I definitely didn't expect it to blow up.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
like-
it became a global phenomenon.
I mean, so I don't remember when they first announced it, but I feel like with Mitomo and the way it blew up, and granted it lasted all of 36 hours, but like the amount of publicity that got for Mitomo, which is making Miis, which everyone has probably done because everyone owned a Wii, but like no one gives a crap about Miis. But people care about Pokemon.
That's true.
So it doesn't surprise me that when you have a device that everyone has, like when you have that audience, like, and they have a game that they might actually like, that people would download the crap out of it. But I don't know. I'm surprised how many people liked it, I guess.
It's 100% like, oh man, my friend is playing this. I don't want to miss out. And then that just snowballed worldwide to everyone needs to be playing this or else I'm a loser. Which is weird
FOMO,
because...
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, dude.
100% FOMO. And like, it's really funny because I saw all the people that made fun of me for still playing Pokemon in my 20s, playing Pokemon Go, and I'm just like,
And it kind of turned into like more than just one generation. Like a lot of parents are playing with their kids. A lot of, there's a lot of kids that have only played the newer Pokemon, and so now they're being introduced to the first generation for the first time, which is really fascinating because there's like a bunch of kids mispronouncing Caterpie. They're like, look, a Caterpie! Get out of here.
I mean, like, I'm glad it exists for that reason. Like, for the parents playing it with their kids.
That's cool.
Like, I mean, there were all these articles just being like, hey, this is getting people who don't normally go outside and don't normally socialize to go outside and socialize. And that's cool. Like, that's awesome.
a friend of mine who a friend of mine who has a
people,
kid.
So
I mean, a friend of mine who has a kid uses it, or used it, I don't know if he still plays it, as an excuse to like take his kid for a walk in a stroller and catch Pokemon on the way with him and his partner. And it's like, that's cool. Like, that's a little family activity right there.
Yeah. Like for me, I saw it and was kind of like, I can do all this in the regular game, so
why don't I just start walking places on my 2DS and playing Pokemon and just pretend like it's all the same.
Right. So I mean, like, I think I'm kind of with what you were saying. Right? Like, it's just not for me. Like, it wasn't like something that I was like, this is what I've lived for. But I definitely see it for some people, and it's cool. It's a cool concept.
Hopefully they fix a lot of the issues, but like the hype's died so fast.
It's pretty much fell off a cliff, I think.
Well, my observation is that Pokemon Go mostly appealed to, and probably still appeals to, the people who aren't really still Pokemon fans. Yeah. Like, obviously, like what you were saying, it's the nostalgia for Gen 1 and all that. Like, this is for people that their last Pokemon game was probably the first Pokemon game. That, like, grew out of Pokemon, but always, like, had a spot in their heart for whatever reason. And then this comes along and it's easy to access, it's free, everyone's doing it, so they jump back on. Like that is who I think it's made for. I don't think it's made for us losers who bought X and Y. Like I don't think we're the ones who are really supposed to love it.
Yeah. Which makes sense, right? Because the ones that are loving it are like Hillary Clinton, right?
Go to the Pokemon, go to the polls, man. Okay.
So it is. I think that you're right. The audience is not the hardcore gamers at all. Clearly, because it's not a good game.
Which is funny because like all my friends come to me for advice on Pokemon Go, and I'm just like, man, I have no idea. Like, I just don't care to know.
I wonder what impact it'll have on mobile for Nintendo / Pokemon in the future, though. Because like we were saying with Miitomo as well, I think they're already kicking themselves for not like starting this 5 years earlier.
So like the thing with this is it's not a Nintendo game. They're just like copping shares off it.
Sure.
Pokemon Company has actually done a few mobile games in the past. They got Picross and that Connect 3 game. I can't remember what it's called. Mm-hmm. So hopefully it makes them push more Pokemon mobile games that are good.
So real talk, I bought a 2DS like about a month ago, a little less. Most played game by far, Pokemon Picross, dude.
I've never played it. I don't.
It's
understand.
really good.
I don't understand Picross, so I'm just like, ugh.
It explains it in the beginning. I had no idea what it was either, and it's a horrible free to play system. Like it's got a horrible pay to win paywall kind of thing, but I still am enjoying it a lot.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Have you put any money in it?
No, not at all. I'm just waiting it out, and it's taking forever. But it's really fun.
Is that why it's your most played? Because you just leave it open while like time ticks over?
No, I mean like I haven't even looked at like time played. I just know that I have spent probably double amount of time in that game than any other game.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
So, but just all that to say, like spin-offs or like mobile games in general, like I think there's a big market for that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I, even if Nintendo's not developing it themselves, I think they'll greenlight a lot more stuff in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully,
well, it worked. Like, I mean, I don't know how they make money. Oh yeah, it
didn't.
They
make
have
money.
the microtransactions.
That's the problem. Like Pokemon Go didn't make money. People thought it.
I thought
did.
it was making like a bunch at first.
Nah,
Like,
it got a ton of downloads, but no one was spending money on it because everything, like, the problem with having like a really good paywall system is that you don't need to spend money on this game, so why would you?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't make any money.
Interesting. Yeah, I just remember, like, I haven't looked into it much. I just remember, they were saying that like Pokemon Go was making $1 million a day off microtransactions.
I mean, that's the same with but making $1 million a day is nothing when you have servers and.
I suppose.
Like a lot of that money, like, because it's all Niantic that'll be making the money. Everything else just gets shot off to the Pokemon Company and then a little bit to Nintendo, and it's like. Niantic is losing money, I think, at this point.
Jeez. It makes you wonder, I mean, just free games in general, because sure, even if they do have the microtransactions, like, how much of that really goes into, like, how much is that actually going to bring you when you release a free game? I don't know. I'm still waiting for, like, Mario Classic All-Stars on my phone or something.
God, I hope so. I want that.
Because like that's 3. Something we've been wanting for like since we've had smartphones, right? But Nintendo's like, no.
I mean, you can just emulate it if you got a Samsung.
Right.
if you got an Android.
I hate playing games on my phone.
Well, yeah, true. There is that part of it too.
Yeah.
My phone toilet time is social media.
It brings a whole new definition to shit posting, man.
Okay, should we move on?
Yeah, I think so.
What a transition. Speaking of that, because you were talking about memes earlier, Raz, let's talk about Pokemon Sun and Moon, or for the kinky fans out there, Pokemon S&M. This is
Did you write that one down, stuff?
nope, top of my head. We got a new Pokemon game coming out at the end of the year. Do we have a release date on that? November, October?
It's November. I'm on the website now. I'll get back to you in a second.
November something. It's coming. Mitch let me down. But we're hearing like a whole lot about it. They're giving us what seems to be a whole crap ton of info. You know, like, so before we were doing this, Mitch was looking up a list of all the things that are confirmed / announced, which, by the way, I'll say at this point, we're going to talk about all the stuff that's been announced. So if you don't want to hear any of that, go away. if you don't want spoilers, yeah, just get out right now. As obviously by the thumbnail, you're already spoiled to 3 Pokemon in the new one.
If you didn't
November
know it's
18th.
Pokemon by now, though,
Yeah,
like,
for real.
There's no way you would have navigated to this video.
Right. They're probably
if
the
you've been on
3.
YouTube.
They're
you've
probably
been
the
on
3
Twitter.
most talked about new Pokemon, I would think.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyway, so yes, spoiler warning, I guess. But anyway, there's a whole ton of stuff. They've released what seems like a new trailer every week or something.
Yeah, it's
of just
crazy.
more Pokemon, more information, new stuff. Let's hit it. What's some of the things that we've talked about, or that they've talked about, rather?
Oh man, it's so hard to know where to start with like all the stuff they've been releasing. I mean, I guess a good place to start would be the starters.
Yeah, let's start with start. I heard you smile as you said that, Mitch. Start with the starters.
Damn it.
Mitch and I are Litten fans.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What about you, Raz?
All right, so it's Litten. What is it? Rowlet,
Rowlet.
Yeah, Rowlet,
Popplio.
Popplio.
the one that I don't care about.
Yeah,
I
the one
like
that looks like a
Rowlet.
clown.
I like the owl, man.
Yeah,
I've always been partial to grass, and I feel like they've never gotten the starters that they deserved.
yeah.
Like
That
I
is a
don't know.
lie. But
Bulbasaur's a cutie.
Turtwig,
I liked
man.
Turtwig.
Turtwig.
What?
He's the Gen
Oh.
4 starter.
Is that the one that turns into like Torterra or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that his name?
Yeah.
I like that one too. That was the other one I was going to mention, but I couldn't
But
remember
don't you
his
think it's
name.
because like grass just like doesn't look as cool as fire, just as its simplest form? So like
Just,
grass
like, as a
Pokemon aren't as
concept.
cool as fire Pokemon.
I don't, man, whatever.
Like, I guess, why do you like grass is what I'm saying.
Well, okay.
That's the worst. Just kidding.
Well, so it's weird, man. Like, when I was a kid, my favorite color was green. And it wasn't because my favorite color was green. It was because my brother's favorite color was blue. So my favorite color had to be green. Like,
Right.
Like, they were like, your favorite color is green. And I'm like, but no, it's green. So I don't know. For a while, like, green was just my favorite color. And it's a dumb reason to like something. But I just liked grass, and that stuck around. Even though now I'm like, okay, it's okay for blue to be my favorite color, but like I still have
suppressed trauma from
an affinity. And I don't know. I mean, Squirtle's bae. I like Squirtle more than Bulbasaur now, but for the longest time, I loved my Bulbasaur, man.
Real talk though, that grass bow tie is the best of
Right?
any. Like as much as I'm like, yeah, Litten's great. Like that's the best design part of any of the starters.
That's like the best design they've ever done.
Yeah,
Right,
a leaf
right.
bow tie. That's just freaking great, dude.
I think he just, and I've seen some pictures of, I don't know if they've been officially released. I saw them when it was the leak of what his final like form is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's so cool. It looks great. It reminds me of the owl from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm in.
That's cool. I'm pumped. We might hit on this a little bit later. Actually, so let's talk about it later. So never mind. What else? Because I know we'd get into it now. I was gonna say I'm kind of tired of having the same 3 types for starters
Right.
again and again and again. But again, we'll talk about that at the end, because I want to kind of end by talking about like what would we like to see changed, or what is kind of like our hopes and dreams for the future games. So let's get to that later. First, let's kind of just lay out what are some other things that have been announced. Alola forms.
I was gonna say that's the biggest like bombshell.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to like skip it back a little bit to what we were saying about like Gen 1 nostalgia, this is total Gen 1 nostalgia. They're like, how can we recapture the old audience to this new game? It's like, well, let's just reinvent the first generation.
But I'm noticing that because that's what I've seen is the Alola forms are Gen 1 Pokemon.
Yep.
So I do not know much about the Alola forms. Are they is it purely cosmetic, or do
No,
they...
they change typings as well.
Yeah, and new abilities too.
Yeah.
And is this like, what was it called? Mega Evolutions or whatever?
So from the looks of it, Mega Evolution's gone.
Okay. And are they just Alola forms now? Or
Yeah. So,
do you just get like Alola Pikachu?
So like, from what I can gather, there's 4 islands in the Alola region, right? Mm-hmm. And specific islands will have there's an ice island, or like a snow island, I should say, and that's where you'll get your ice Vulpix and your ice Sandshrew.
Okay.
Is what I'm assuming.
Interesting.
It's hard to tell so far. Because it could be either that, or in this game particularly, because it's only in the Alola region, that's just what these Pokemon are going to look like.
Yeah.
Or did they transform? Like it's hard to tell.
I hope it's not a transformation.
Same.
I hope so too. But it seems to be what they'll be like, at least, if not the whole way through, at least in specific areas.
Yeah. Because there are some that are different, like they look different from the different islands. I had seen that, where there's some Pokemon that have like 4 different versions, and they're from 4 different islands. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bird
That's
that
awesome.
has a different form for depending on which island it is, and it changes its typing too.
That's really cool.
Raz is taking the role of unbeknownst audience member, in case you can't tell.
Yeah, I'm into that idea.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, I mean, they kind of have done that though. Not exactly like that.
Yeah,
but
I know
the
what you're talking
idea.
about.
There's
like
Gastrodon.
Those monkeys.
Gastrodon's the biggest one I can think of in the Sinnoh region. If you get one from the east or west, it's either blue or pink. And I thought I got a shiny the first time I saw a pink one.
Yeah, I've seen it too. I think in maybe Black and White, where they had different
The Basculins, the little fish.
colored versions of the same Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basculins.
So it's similar to that. But changing typing's a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
that's a big change.
But I don't know. I mean, there are just like those 3 monkeys, which are technically different Pokemon.
Yeah.
They're in X and Y. I forget their names. But like, there's
the Pan monkeys.
Panpaw, yeah. They're actually from Black and White.
That seems like a
God.
similar idea. What?
They're actually from Black and White? God.
They started, I think, in Black and White.
Yeah.
Shake my head, man. How could you, Razbuten? How could you not know that, man? I have not played Black and White.
It's the best, honestly.
That's what you've told me. But I'm never going to be able to go back.
Yeah, it's true. It's rough to go
It's
back.
funny because, like, for me too, I haven't owned a Nintendo handheld since the Game Boy Color, and then I just bought this 2DS like recent. So, through emulators I have experienced all of them, but Black and White's really, really good.
Yeah. But like Raz said, it's pretty hard to jump back a generation, especially with like all the nice changes that they make.
See, and I think that's why I didn't like Gen 4 very much.
Gen 4 is pretty rough.
I played Black and White when it was fairly new, and then I was like, oh, and there's the other ones too, and so I played 4, and I was like,
Nah, Gen 4 even at the time was a bit like, eh. But then they released Platinum, and Platinum's really good. But Diamond and Pearl suck.
Have you, Mitch? You've played every generation.
Yes, and every version.
Snow, have you?
Yes, I haven't beaten all of them, but
you've played them.
Some,
I've played 1, 2, 4, and then what was X and Y 7, 6. So 1, 2, 4, 6.
You're missing out on 3, which is like
3's pretty good.
Like get out Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire because going back's a bit rough. But yeah,
Yeah.
3 is
I
really
mean,
good.
I loved 2,
Mm-hmm.
just because it was you had Pokemon Red and Blue in it. Like,
Yeah,
that
I
was,
know. I still talk about that
that
with
was
friends
really
too.
cool.
It's the only one where you like can go to both regions.
So there's
That's
a
sweet.
reason for that.
Was it just
So
too short, or?
so like the third generation was supposed to be a reboot, and the last one they ever made. They're like, that's it.
Oh.
We're gonna reboot this, and this is gonna be the last one, and then we're done. And then they're like, that sold really well. Guess
Is
we'll
that
keep
why
going.
it was like also red and blue, just different names?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Like
Sure.
reboot.
Yeah.
What's a different name for red? Ruby.
Yeah. Ruby and Sapphire. Yeah. An emerald, which was the green one. Damn. You
Yep.
just cracked that open.
Yeah, there you go. Learn new stuff
Done it,
every
man.
day.
He's done it.
Yeah, that is interesting. But for the same reason, I think Gold Silver are my favorite as well.
Yeah.
It just was like a great sequel.
So like Black and White is the most interesting. It has the best story. Really cool Pokemon, but Heart Gold and Soul Silver is actually probably the best one. Like the best
I
game.
did not play the remake, but
Oh, it's so good.
Me either. I need to play that as well.
yeah. So like, how many Pokemon are gonna be in this game?
I don't know
Like-
if it's been announced.
Because what do they
do not
normally
know as well.
do? Like, how many Pokemon are usually available?
It changes. Available, it's usually a standard Pokedex, which is 150.
Okay.
Yeah, which is weird because it's at the point where they're making new ones every game, but not every game has every Pokemon.
Yeah. But then like once you beat the Elite Four, they'll usually open it up and like, oh look, suddenly new Pokemon are appearing all over the world, so you better go find them. And now with like online connectivity, it's just whatever to get Pokemon. It's so easy. Like I got all 700 and whatever in X and Y in like a week.
Really?
Yeah, after beating the game.
Just from trading people or what?
Yeah, just from trading online. You just
Yeah.
put a Pokemon on and then you say, I want this in exchange for it, and then yeah, you get it back.
Oh, that is easy. It's almost like too
It's-
easy.
But it's
Stop,
700 and
stop
something.
tarnishing. Yeah, stop tarnishing his accomplishments, Snow. Okay.
Yeah, and
No, I mean
Mitch,
that's
I'm proud of you, man.
that's
Good
great,
work, man.
Mitch. I'm proud of you.
You caught them all, man.
and then
Honestly. And
you get a shiny charm, which increases the chances of shiny Pokemon by a lot. And I got a ton of shiny Pokemon.
nice.
Man, you're ruining this
But-
one, Snow.
Alola forms though do interest me.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of Alola forms. Probably, what, 15?
I'm on the website now, and there's like Executor, the Vulpix line, the Sandshrew line, Meowth, Raichu, and Marowak.
Oh,
feel
okay.
like there's more,
yeah.
though.
Oh, can we talk about the new ones? The ones they just announced? Freaking Marowak, dude. Did you see that, Raz?
No.
Okay, so it's the ultimate callback to Gen 1. Like, this is the Gen 1 callback. It's a ghost fire Pokemon.
Oh, God. That sounds really good.
It's freaking amazing. Here, send him well, we'll send you a picture later. I don't know, it's good. But Raichu might be my favorite. Raichu's
Raichu's
Alola form. He
adorable.
becomes psychic as well, and he is like hovering on his tail.
Does he become
That sounds
psychic?
like a
I
really
didn't
good
realize that.
Pokemon.
Wow, I didn't realize he became psychic. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? And then
And he floats on his
Meowth
tail.
just looks like Tom from Tom and Jerry. He just turns
Yeah.
gray.
Yep.
I found this amazing picture where Marowak is holding the new Executor, the Alola Executor. It's really good.
Yeah. It's just there's great.
Interesting thing about that Executor Alolan form. There's like, I don't even know if it's a theory at this point because like it's pretty much confirmed by old lore that this is how Executor's supposed to look. Like this was his original design and they
It just
changed it.
didn't work.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is funny.
because like in one of the Pokédex entries in like the old games, it's like, given direct sunlight, he will grow to be so tall.
Okay.
And like there's a trading card game, like the first trading card game has that design of Executor on it.
Did you know gaming?
Yeah, I mean, it looks more palm tree-ish, right, than just the fat one.
Yeah, looking at them side by side is so weird. You realize how stumpy.
Mimikyu though is tops.
Oh man, so okay, what do you think of the new ones? Because there's always the thing of like, oh man, new Pokemon designs are so bad, but like,
well, so what I was just saying is, so Mimikyu is that one with on the thumbnail there with wearing the Pikachu hood.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a new Ditto, but it like it drew a little face on it, so people will like it.
Yeah,
and that
see,
is
like
freaking adorable.
It's funny. It went from, I think, being people like, wow, Pokemon has really fallen off when they like see the design, to hearing the idea behind the design and being like, this is the best Pokemon ever.
Yeah.
You know, like I had that exact reaction where I'm like, come on, like we're better than this. Like you're better than this. And then I read about it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you just look at it and it's like, seriously?
He
like,
just
is this
wants me to love him, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it just looks like a badly drawn Pikachu. Like
some weird fan art.
Yeah, like this is Pokemon Art Academy Pikachu. No, adorable. Most of the other ones, though, honestly, I think are pretty bland.
Really? So I'm like, this is the cutest generation of Pokemon so far.
I mean, they are, definitely, but they always sprinkle in like 3 or 4 new Pokemon in these new trailers. And most of them, I can't remember, I don't know.
Yeah. So far we've got the typical Redditor, which is the Mongoose one.
The Trump one.
Yeah. Right.
Young Goose.
Right.
Young Goose that evolves into Trump. Which is Gumshoes. Yep. And we've got the first evolution of the bird, which is Picky Peck, which is a stupid name.
Yeah. I need to look up the list as well, because they're just, I don't know, they seem kind of basic. Am I just being pessimistic?
I mean, this is just like what they want to show us, so maybe they're saving the big surprises for later.
And that could be, definitely.
There's 2 I want to talk about mostly. So there's this one called Salandit, which I don't think is getting enough love. It's a little lizard. Its design's like pretty whatever, but it has a really interesting type. It's poison fire.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, it's like a little salamander.
Yeah, it's like a little crocodile salamander.
Yeah,
yep.
And it's got like a little gecko hand on its back. It kind of looks like a sticky hand that you stick on the wall.
It's like it's like a little volcano tail.
Here you go, Raz. Check this out. We're just like talking. We're just like, yeah, this Pokemon. This one's cool. Ooh. Yeah, right.
But poison fire, I think, is a really interesting typing.
That is interesting.
And a new ability that hasn't been seen, corrosion. It becomes possible to inflict the poison status condition even on steel and poison type Pokemon, which is
interesting.
A game changer. Like, that's huge.
But like, it depends who can all learn corrosion.
Yeah, if its evolution form is like good, that'll be a pretty standard Pokemon in competitive, I think.
Wait, so sorry, was that a move or just like
It's its ability.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was confused. That's awesome. Because I was like, if that's a move and then any poison Pokemon can learn it, then that would defeat the purpose. But that is not the case. I'm an idiot. Sorry.
You know what? There are some cool ones now that I'm looking. So like Wishy Washy, which is also a stupid
That's the other one I
name.
want to talk about.
Okay, good. Because that's another one that I was like, this is pretty basic. Just like simple fish. But it can become a school of fish. And it's it's not an evolution.
It's its ability.
It's its ability is schooling, and it becomes an entire school of Wishy Washy. and
But-
it kind of looks like a different Pokemon. And
What
it's
confuses
stronger,
me
I
about
guess.
this, it confuses me so much that ability only activates after level 30. So it may as well be an evolution, but it's
Yeah,
not.
that's interesting.
And I kind of hate it.
Huh. That is weird.
It's like the one
So I'm
thing
looking-
I'm not looking forward to about this generation.
Like, which one is this again? Sorry.
Wishy-washy is the
Wishy-washy?
fish.
Yeah, wishy-washy.
Stupid name. If there's
Yeah.
one thing about this generation, is the names are pretty stupid.
Yeah.
At least
it
some of
says
them.
even Gyarados flee from Wishy-Washy's school form.
It's that Gen 1 nostalgia, man.
Interesting.
But some of these do look pretty dorky, like Mudbray. It's a freaking
I'm in love
donkey.
with Mudbray, dude.
I love Mudbray.
I'm into Mudbray right now.
Look at its
Can I-
eyes, though. Its eyes
Exactly.
are like...
That's what I love about it.
It looks dead. It looks like a doll.
What about Mudsdale? What do you think of Mudsdale?
I think it
I
looks like
like-
Tauros, too.
I like Mudsdale
Really?
less. I'm into Mudbray though.
So you're just not going to evolve yours?
Probably. I also really like Beware.
Oh, that name. Like,
Gosh.
oh, God.
Dang it, dude, the names.
The name is like an ultimate thing, I would say, but I also hate it.
Beware looks like it's wearing those ears, like as a... Like it's a headband.
It's
Yeah,
be wearing them, man.
I'm into Beware.
So there's a lot of new Pokemon. There's Alola forms, which are pretty cool. What else? Is there anything else? No gyms? Question mark.
Oh, yeah. That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
So, like, you have the trials to go through. Each island has a trial that you must, like, gain
So
access
it's
to.
like a dungeon now.
I was just good. I thought you were gonna say so. It's like a gym
Zelda.
It's
So
basically...
because it
it's
sounds pretty similar.
Yeah. It's basically, like... It's just a reskinned gym Elite Four format, I think.
Right. That's
So,
what
like-
it seemed to me too.
So Kahunas lead each island, and then there's trial captains. So maybe the trial captains are like the Elite Four?
Huh. Or vice versa. Maybe the Kahunas are Elite Four.
Yeah. So, like, maybe you have to do a certain amount of gyms, and then you beat an Elite Four member on that island before you go to the next island.
But that'd be sweet to see something like it change up a little bit. So it's not just
Yeah.
like, here's your badge.
Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that. Like, I'm kind of tired of that format of
Mm-hmm.
the 8 gyms
Yeah.
and just like the story that goes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you need to play black and white.
I guess, yeah.
You just got to be the very best, Raz.
It's just like become kind of tired. I felt like, I mean, the 4 I have played all felt the same.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And they are. They really are.
Yeah, and that's, it's boring. Like, it's boring.
I know what Mitch is talking about, how 5 is different. Gen 5 is a little bit different, but it's still the same structure.
It still has the same format. It's just got a story behind it, like an actual
Right.
story that involves gym leaders that get involved in the story. Like, it gives gym leaders a purpose,
That's cool.
which is cool.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, things that, like, I think the idea of not having gyms be part of Pokemon is great, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like, have it be a different challenge. It can be similar to gyms.
Just name it
I don't
something
know.
else.
Well, but have the function of it just be drastically different. I mean, like, have it be part of an interesting quest. Because, I mean, I guess usually they tie it into something like, I can't remember specific examples, but, like, turn the power back on in the city so you can fight the gym leader or something like that. Like, they do that, but it always is the same buildup of go into the gym, fight 3 trainers, fight the gym leader, move on,
Yeah.
So I think to have unique quests with each of the new, like, what we're going to call gym leaders, the kahunas or whatever, like, having unique quests that aren't the same structure is going to be a lot more interesting if that's what they do.
To X's credit, there is kind of like, you're trying to find the secret of Mega Evolution. Like, that's kind of your secondary goal, or
Yeah.
almost kind of your primary goal, it seems, at least in the beginning. So, like, from what I've played so far, there's like 3 or 4 side missions that you do before you even fight the second gym. So there is kind of like all these other little sprinkled things within. It still has the gym and Elite Four structure, but at least it does switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So hopefully they do that more.
So another thing they're introducing, which like it doesn't really affect anyone unless you want to do competitive battling, but it's an amazing thing that they're adding. So you know in X and Y how there's super training, and that's your EV training basically, like you max out your stats that way. They're introducing hyper training, which changes IVs, which is nuts because usually you have to breed Pokemon for days to get the perfect IV.
Interesting.
And now you can just be like, oh, cool, I don't have to soft reset my Pokemon game if I want a perfect IV legendary.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure some people will be mad about it, but...
Oh, man, if anyone's mad about that, they're an idiot that likes wasting their
like,
time.
I think the people who might be mad about it are just those who are like, no, I did all this research. Like, I'm the only one who deserves to have this experience. It's the same thing of like, I walked up the hill 10 miles to school. Yeah.
Back in my day.
Back in my day. Back in Mitch's day.
Whoa.
Whoa.
1 year raise.
I'm not mad about that. That's
just
just over my head. I don't care or know anything about any of that.
It's for the competitive people, but it's like
Right.
a really nice nod to be like, we acknowledge that this is a pain in the ass, so we're going to change it.
I didn't do any competitive stuff with X and Y, but I did like EV train my Pokemon, which was like a cool experience.
Yeah.
And to see that like come to fruition was fun and interesting to me.
Like you level up and you see like plus 10 on the stat you trained and you're like, whoa, it does work.
I'm amazing. I'm so much stronger. I'm marginally stronger now.
How about, so just to kind of briefly end here, let's talk about, I'll give you one thing each of something you would like to see changed / different / something, mixed up in the new games or in just the future in general. What's something you'd like to see Pokemon do for future games?
For me, and like I just thought of it, and it's the coolest idea to me ever. I've heard people mention this idea. I would like to have the process of like becoming a gym leader as a player, like having a story built around that, like one part Harvest Moon, one part Pokemon, where you're like in a town and you have to start running a gym to like keep the town afloat or something. I don't know, man. I would love that.
That's a really cool idea.
That is a cool idea.
Like it'd be more on a micro level. You could still travel to other towns, I guess, and like catch Pokemon, but like you would have this home base, this like center of operations that you're trying to make better, and you're trying to make your gym better. And I think that'd be really cool.
What would be especially cool
completely different
is if you like had to choose your type, your gym type, and then you had to like try and build the best team around your gym type. Mm-hmm. That'd be totally different too. Because like my strategy in Pokemon is always get the most varied team you can. But what if instead your focus had to be build the best type that you can?
Yeah, that would be cool. I would worry that it's just too limiting.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a side thing you can do. Like maybe that's one of the paths you can take.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So I think that's what I would want. And like I don't know exactly what the quest would be, but like you wouldn't be focused about getting badges. Like you might go to other gyms in other cities to like learn what they do well, and maybe you have to beat them in a battle, and they'll give you some advice or something like that. But I just like the idea of building stuff back in like one city and trying to build up your gym, your home, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
because I don't know, man. I love games like that. I loved Stardew Valley. And I feel like Stardew Valley was already a mix between like I can't think of any games specifically. I guess almost like Harvest Moon and Zelda. Not really, but like the idea of the very basic sword swinging, cave crawling.
Yeah.
It's like Zelda 1's combat mixed with the Harvest Moon, and that was a cool idea. And I think the next cooler step is to have Pokemon. Like, and then you could like, oh my gosh, you could have like a ranch and have your Pokemon like work on the ranch, and you could like eat your anyway, Mitch, what's your idea?
And you gotta woo like a pretty lady in the town.
Well, that too, man. There's gotta be romancing.
Yeah, that's like part and parcel with those games.
Like, I don't know, I just want to, what's the cow Pokemon?
Miltank.
Yeah, I want to make a burger out of them.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm just saying, man, and sell it. And see how
Pokemon
that
rights
goes.
activists are coming after you, Raz.
Or whatever, I'll milk it, man. I don't know. I think that there's just a lot of opportunities with that sort of.
I do like that
crossover
idea, though.
Yeah.
Like, not so much the Harvest Moon stuff, but I like the idea of becoming a gym leader.
And then,
I was
like,
on board with you
building
till you
that
wanted
area.
to eat a Pokemon.
Yeah. All right, fine. We'll just milk it. I mean, it's been a while since I played. What are they called? Diamond and Pearl. But they had that like underground thing. That like I don't remember it all that well, but I enjoyed that element and like going down and having a shared mining space. So I don't know.
That's kind
I
of
just
in
like
Omega
stuff like
Ruby and
that.
Alpha Sapphire as well.
Okay.
Where you find a little base in the world and then you build that base to be your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You would love that bit, Raz.
Yeah, like I would just love to see that as a main feature of the game. Like my favorite part of Fallout 4 was building my base, and then it didn't like have anything to do with anything, which was a bummer.
Right.
But I would love it if you could build the base and then it mattered.
Yeah.
We just need like Pokemon Gym Simulator. Like Gym Manager Simulator. Gotta maintain the gym.
Oh my God.
And like there could be a great story moment where you see this kid who's like working so hard to be a Pokemon master, and like you can decide if you want to throw the battle or not. to be like, I'm gonna give it to you, man.
Oh
like
my
I'm gonna
gosh.
let you go to the Elite Four. I don't know. It could be cool. It could be cool.
Oh man, just like the whole game from the other lens. Like that is just a really crazy concept to me.
Yeah.
Mitch, what's your idea?
So this is an idea I've been playing around with for a while, and I kind of want to talk about it in a video. I kind of did talk about it in a video that's not out yet. But just introducing Nuzlocke as a main staple feature in the game.
Yeah.
Like, it is what drives so many people to play Pokemon now. Like, crazy amounts. Like, when I started X and Y, I was like, this is my Nuzlocke run. Like, I'm just going to go into this blind and do a Nuzlocke run of this. And, like, it's just, the community for it is so huge now that it would be kind of stupid to just keep ignoring it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but maybe that's just me.
So how would it be incorporated? Or I guess if you don't want to like give away, you know, if you're doing a video.
I don't really care.
But like
it's like a 20-second mention in a video, so I don't really care.
so like how would they incorporate it?
So what I was thinking is, say in Gen 1, when you get your Pokemon, before you get any Pokeballs, you have to go get the parcel and then bring it back. And at that point, Gary's like, I'm going to go to my sister to get a map. And if you like talk to her, she can be like, hey, do you want to do this thing? And it activates Nuzlocke. Or if you've caught Pokemon before, the guy that teaches you how to catch Pokemon, he's like, hey, I see you know how to catch Pokemon. Do you want to do this? Just something like that. Like something that shows that you have already played and mastered a Pokemon game. Or like just want to explore.
Cool. Like find a trainer that's like, hey, you look more adept than all these other losers.
Yeah. Like
you know what you should do? Your Pokemon die if they die, so that's a good idea.
Die in the game, you die for real.
You want to raise the stakes.
Like, it could have certain parameters where you have to beat the first rival battle, and not die on your way to get to wherever.
Oh,
like,
frick,
none of
like
your
a
Pokemon
like
fade.
a Star Fox alternate path.
Yeah, like that. Like, you have to meet certain parameters.
I dig that.
Man, now I need to redo my video.
You're right though. Like Nuzlocke, it really has become such a big part of it. Like we talked, a little bit about just like difficulty in general and how Pokemon is. There's obviously that's why it's a thing because it's a way to make it more difficult, more challenging. Yeah, dude. I'd be all about it.
So what's your idea, Snow?
Well, I was, we talked earlier about having some different different typed starters. Get some different stuff in there, not just fire, water, grass. And the dilemma comes of, well, there's only a few that could do the rock, paper, scissors trifecta, but there are some, and I think they could switch it up. Give us freaking ice, ground, and I don't remember what the ones were. There were some I found where they still work in that mode where they're back and forth.
Yeah.
But we don't have to just have fire, grass, water every time. Switch it up.
What was interesting in X and Y is they did kind of do that, where the secondary typing of each Pokemon was also a rock, paper, scissors. It was psychic, dark, and fighting.
Okay, yeah.
And like it was like a double. It was really interesting, I thought, at least. I was
yeah,
like, that's cool.
That's a good start. And that actually was kind of just a afterthought. But what I was thinking about when Raz was just talking about from a gym leader perspective, it'll never happen. But I want a Pokemon game where I can become Team Rocket. I want a Pokemon
really
game where I am trained up in a gang family, and they're training me to become a member of the evil team of this game.
So you want Pokemon The Force Awakens? Is that like what you're trying to say?
Well, I don't even have to turn good or anything. I want to just stay evil. I want to do Pokemon where I become the Giovanni, right? Your goal is now I'm the mob boss, you know?
Oh man, that's cool.
It would never happen, but
yeah, no,
I would love it.
So one thing really quickly that we didn't touch on was the new rival or the new bad guy gang, and they are stupid and their theme song sucks. That's all.
Team Skull, but baby.
Yeah.
You didn't like the song, Mitch?
No, I hate it.
I liked their song.
It's so dumb.
Yes, Team Skull. That is our new. And that's another one where I kind of was like, do we need one though?
Not at all.
Do
Not
we
unless
need
they do
another
something interesting in Black and White, where they're
team anything?
they think they're the good guys and they're liberating Pokemon.
Yep. Which I agree, that's a good way to do it. But we don't necessarily need a team, I would like to see things take a big shift to where we just don't have the expected norms.
Yeah, and it seems like Sun and Moon does that a little bit with this island trials and kahunas and stuff.
Yeah.
And Alolan forms was totally unexpected.
Yeah.
So,
and, so I guess props for that at least.
Yeah.
They're taking baby steps. I mean, there might be a part of them that's it sells well, so I change it.
Yeah, and I think if they changed it too much too quickly, people would be like, ugh, nah.
That's a good point.
Pass.
Well, so that makes me wonder. I should look into it. I wonder how well Triforce Heroes sold.
Because of just how fundamentally different it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is it does not seem like a Zelda game. It plays like a Zelda game, but it's. I mean, first off, it's multiplayer, which it's not the first time. There was 4 Swords, but it's still kind of a rare thing. And 4 Swords was still local multiplayer. And the single player was actually playable. The single player in Triforce Heroes is so tedious. It's not worth it. But I mean, have you played any of it, Snow? Do you have it?
No, that's one I don't have yet.
Okay.
I heard it's good though.
It's great. It's a lot of fun. But the premise of it is you're in a place that like fashion is the driving factor for everything. It's so weird. Like it's got French music, and the princess in it is called Princess Styla, like, and she's made ugly by the evil witch, like the evil fashionable witch. It's like so weird.
Yeah.
And it's such a huge departure from Zelda. Like, and maybe it's because it's a handheld, so people aren't in a big uproar about it, or maybe because it's not like a single player Zelda game, they're like, well, we don't need to be mad about it. but like people just go with it. Like people are cool with it for whatever reason. And
yeah, that's funny.
And like I don't know how well it's sold, probably not amazingly, but I don't know how well A Link Between Worlds sold. So I'll need to do research on that. But with that same idea, like I think if the idea like that they come up with for Pokemon, if they do something drastically different, if it's a good enough idea and plays well and is fun, people will get over it. Like people will get over that it's different.
So you're saying in the next Pokemon game, we need to like dress them up and
Yes.
have the focus be about fashion and Pokemon fashion.
X and Y was kind of like that.
To a degree. I mean, so that's one thing that when you were talking Snow, I don't know why it came to me, but I also would like to see more things for Pokemon that aren't like battling.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some of that stuff, but like just like practical uses of Pokemon, whether it's you doing it or just like, I don't know, man. I feel like it was done in the anime, and I feel like it's probably been done in games. But just if you're at like a power plant, you see a Raichu just like putting in hours, like just like electric. Like I would love to see stuff like that, and I feel like graphically, they're definitely at the point where it'd be easy to portray that.
Hey man, you can ride a Rhyhorn.
I was about to say that. In Sun and Moon, you can ride more Pokemon. You can ride Charizards and shit now.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, like you're at a cafe and just like Chimchar is chilling in the oven, like beneath the stove. And you're like, I need this boiled. He's like, and like
that's like Flintstones, just like how they had animals for everything. It's like that.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Is like practical uses of the Pokemon.
Amazing.
One thing it's not really relevant anymore, but I was kind of really on that I want a console Pokemon hype for a while. On the Wii, when Wii was out, I really wanted a huge 3D Pokemon adventure on the Wii because I thought it could work well with the motion controls. Like instead of just hitting fly and you automatically teleport somewhere, like actually have you fly and you go up in the sky and you have to like move around and fight Pokemon in the air and like I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of stuff like that where you could do, where it's more than just, I don't know. There's such an emphasis on the battling, and like you're saying, like there's other things you could do. I don't know.
Yeah. In that vein, people need to stop asking for a Pokemon MMO, please.
Well, and that's why I said like, you know, when I was on that kick, because I think at this point it's like, yeah.
It's not gonna happen ever. Like,
and have it. It's called Pokemon Go, and it's
honestly
not very fun, guys.
I don't even want an MMO. Like
neither.
That's what everyone keeps begging for. I just want like a really good 3D single player experience.
Yeah. Oh man, a Pokemon MMO would be so bad.
I don't want that either. Yeah. Anyway, any closing thoughts on Pokemon?
Pokemon rules, and that's about all I have to say.
I was gonna say Pokemon sucks.
And Digimon drools.
Digimon's the best. Man, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic about this. Not that I think it'll be bad. I mean, like I was saying at the top of the show about open world games, I always think I'm gonna like it, and then I don't. And I'm kind of that way with Pokemon. Like I liked X and Y. But it wasn't what I wanted. You know, it didn't like scratch that itch that I was hoping it would. Like on a gameplay perspective and like I don't want to say gameplay perspective, but like it scratched the nostalgia itch, but it didn't scratch the this is a great game itch.
Right.
Yeah.
And like maybe it's just because I'm past Pokemon. past turn-based RPGs a bit. Like, and the ones I like to play now are old ones because of nostalgia,
Right.
Which is whatever. Like, that is what it is. But I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm gonna get Sun and Moon yet. I probably will, just because everyone's gonna get it, and I mean, fear of missing out. Like, yeah,
I'm more interested in it. I wonder if now it's because I have a 2DS that I actually could get it, if that's why I'm paying closer attention, or if like genuinely, and I think it's this because I was getting hyped before I had a 2DS, before I even thought about getting one. Like, they're just doing stuff that I'd never seen them do before. So like, I'm actually excited for it, I think.
I just know I would have hated to not have Overwatch when Overwatch came out.
Oh yeah.
And I would have hated to have not played Undertale when Undertale came out. I mean, I did hate Undertale's memes still. Like, I whatever. I didn't hate the game, but like the memes and stuff made me grow to hate the game. Like, I hated that experience, but I think I would have hated it more if I had never played it. Like, there's a game like that every 3 or 4 months where everyone is talking about it.
Yeah.
And if you're not playing it, it's just the most insufferable thing to have to listen to.
Yeah.
And at least, like, if I play it, I can be like, this is why it's bad. But hopefully I can be like, this is why it's great. This is why I enjoy it.
That was me with Overwatch for like the first month, and then I gave in.
Yeah,
and you're like, this is the best ever. Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And then they released Anna, and now it's the worst ever.
Shut up.
So we got to wrap this stuff up. Thank you guys for being on. Always a pleasure. Love you guys very much. Thanks for talking Pokemon with me.
Of course, man. Do we say like bye?
Well, I say goodbye.
I thought Mitch would like say bye to me, but
I said
there in
yeah.
silence, so.
I said thanks for having me on, and it's always a pleasure. But
hey, thanks.
Someone
That's all I
doesn't like
wanted.
listening to me.
Tell me in the comments below, are you going to play Pokemon? Also, are you still watching? Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next snoCast. It's been a good time. Peace out. See you later, everybody.
See ya.
See you later, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.